A big warm dearest to everyone from our great KT5 at Thiên Phụng Language Center. In order to contribute a small part to the book recording competition organized by Thiên Phụng Language Center, we, KT5 students and teachers, would like to share with our precious audiences the book I Wonder Why Volcanoes Blow Their Tops and other questions about natural disasters. Where does forked lightning come from? A blinding river of light zigzags through the sky. This is lightning, a giant electrical spark that begins inside towering thunderclouds. Lightning hits the air in its path until it is very hot, hotter than the surface of the sun, and the air explodes in a deafening crash of thunder. What is ball lightning? Eerie, glowing balls of light are sometimes seen during thunderstorms, floating a little wave above the ground. This spooky effect is called ball lightning. Scientists are not sure what causes it, but the balls may be glowing hot gases given off when forked lightning strikes the ground.
Why do forests catch fire? It doesn't take much to start a fire when plants are parched by a hot, rainless summer. A flash of lightning can sometimes spark a dry tree into flame, but most forest fires are caused by people being careless. For example, by tossing away a match that is still alight. Fire can burn through a kilometer of forest in an hour. And if a fire rages out of control, it can devastate thousands of hectares of land. Who bombs fire? In some countries, firefighters use a specially designed plane to combat fires. The plane can skim over the surface of a lake or the sea and scoop up thousands of liters of water into its tanks. Then the plane flies back to the fire to bomb the flames with its watery load. How can you fight fire with fire? A fire break is a clear strip of land ahead of a fire, where there's no fuel left to feed the flames. Firefighters sometimes set mini fires of their own to help clear the ground.
This is who?
Whether the winds become gay. The faster wind blows, the more powerful and dangerous can be. The big force scale measures wind speeds at 40 to 12 base effect on the surrounding landscape. A gentle breeze is 43. For the instance, a 12 to 90 km per hour wind that rooster tree. A moderate gale is 47. A 50 to 61 km per hour wind that make wood sway. Weather blizzard dangerous, freezing cold winds can wither the sudden bleeding snowstorm we call blizzard. This can be a snowdrift, stopping traffic, and this change can make it possible for people to go to work or school. Why do people shoot at clothes? Hailstones to missile cricket points, and this causes enormous damage. In some countries, farmers use it to try protecting their crops by firing big guns into clouds to stop the hail. Scientists are unsure if they guns really work.
How much damage can a hurricane do? With winds roaring at more than 117 kilometers per hour, hurricanes are the fiercest storms on Earth. They start about warm tropical seas, and if a served hurricane reaches land, it can flatten forests, smash houses, flip over cars, and even lift boats out of the water. Where's hurricane's eye? The eye of a hurricane is a central zone where the wind is very calm and there are no big storm clouds. The fast and furious hurricane winds move in a spiral around the eye. What do hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones have in common? They are all words for the same thing, and they all spell trouble. The word hurricane is used in North and South America, typhoon in the Far East, and cyclone in Australia and India.
What wind can sink a ship? Hurricanes are just as dangerous at sea as they are on land. Most waves are caused by wind blowing across the water surface, and a hurricane can whip up a 30-meter high wall of water. When a freak wave discharges masses down, it can sink even large ships in minutes. How do sailors know a storm is on its way? Scientists use planes, ships, and satellites to keep a watchful eye on the weather. Information is passed on the rest of us via TV and radio station, and sailors make sure they tune in for regular updates. Which boat on a Singapore lifeboat race to rescue during shipwreck? Modern lifeboat can cope with really wild weather. If a big wave tips one over, it flips back upright. Vicious gale and high tide can combine causes devastating flood in low-lying coastal area, endangering people and damaging their homes.
Why are twisters so dangerous? Twister is a nickname for a tornado, a spinning windstorm that's usually born inside a hot thundercloud. The tornado snakes down to the ground, which acts like a vacuum cleaner, sucking up everything in a path. Tornadoes are narrower than hurricanes, but they can be just as devastating. What is a waterspout? If a tornado from over lake or sea is sucked up a water, it's called waterspout. When its wind lies down, it can drop its load of water like a bomb. Where you can see a devil. Hot air will sometimes swirl up from that right desert land carrying dust and sand more than 150 meters high. This is a dust devil. Second wind stripped back of a car. When a windstorm blows up in the desert, it blasts sand at anything in its path. Sand can strip the surface from all sorts of tough material, even cars. That's why good smooth with sandpaper and sun is polished with sand blasting machine. What is the Dust Bowl? The Dust Bowl is a design in the USA's Midwest whose name dates back to the 1930s. There was so little rain in those years that the soil dried to dust and was blown away by windstorms. No crops grew, and farming families had to abandon their land and homes. How can a child be so destructive? Warm and cold ocean currents had to shape the world's climate. In the Pacific Ocean, a cold current called La Niña, Spanish for the girl, usually flows west from the South America to Indonesia, but every 3 to 7 years, a warm current called El Nino, the boy, flows eastwards in the opposite direction instead. Sometimes El Nino is strong, causing disastrous weather, including floods, hurricanes, and floods from Alaska to Australia.
Just much like if torrentially heavy rain pelts down onto a steep mountain slope, it can turn loose soil into liquid mud and wash it away. Sometimes a roaring river of mud sweeps down off the mountain, drowning everything in its path. What makes floods happen in a flash? Floods first got their name because they happen so quickly. Torrential rain can swamp a river or stream, making it suddenly burst its bank and spill out over the surrounding countryside. How do floods help? The rivers burst their banks, they dump rich mud on the land, which helps farmers to grow crops. The ancient Egyptians, for example, built their great civilization on the narrow strip of fertile farming land created by the River Nile, flooding every year. The rest of their huge country was dry, dusty desert.
When the snow rises at 300 km per hour, snow can break away from a mountain slope and crash downhill at a breakneck speed. This is an avalanche, and it can be triggered by anything from an earthquake to the switch of a skier skis. The worst avalanches race along as fast as a express train, roaring louder than the thousands of lions, as they bury homes and villages, railways and roads. Who is an avalanche victim best friend? No avalanche rescue team would be complete with their specially trained dogs. With their keen sense of smell, dogs are brilliant at sniffing out people hidden under the snow. And as soon as they find someone, the dogs start digging a rescue tunnel. What makes landslide? Disaster, such as avalanches, and landslide, are most common in mountain regions where there are no trees. Trees help keep land safe because they bury their roots down into the ground, anchoring it and stopping it from being swept away.
Happens in an earthquake. A small earthquake makes the ground tremble. A powerful one makes it shudder and shake like a ship rocking on the ocean, and even crack wide open. The most devastating earthquakes can move mountains, make rivers change course, and bring entire cities tumbling down to the ground. When does soil turn into soup? In areas with soft, wet soil, an earthquake can sometimes make the ground act like it's a liquid. Buildings sink and stay firmly stuck even when the shaking stops and the ground becomes solid again. How do we measure earthquakes? An instrument called seismometer is used to measure the vibrations or shaking movements of the ground in an earthquake. In some seismometer, a pen records the vibration on paper wrapped around a turning drum. The pen is fixed to a weight and stays still during the quake while the drum bounces about.
Which mountain Spitfire? If you ever see huge fiery clouds spouting out of a mountain, you can be sure it's a volcano, and what was is blowing its top. The most violent volcanoes explode like bomb, spitting out clouds of hot ash, chunk of solid rock, and fountain of the running rock we call lava. Why do volcanoes blow their top? Deep beneath a violent volcano is a vast chamber, hot running rock and gases, built up here until they blast upward under immense pressure through cracks in the earth crust. Scientists who study volcanoes are called the volcanologists, after Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. Where can you see river of rock? Sometimes a red-hot river of lava pour out of a volcano and flow down its side. The running rock can reach temperature over 1000 degrees Celsius, much hotter than the oven, and flow faster than you can run. As if volcano weren't dangerous enough, their ash clouds can become electrically charged and produce lightning.
What is avalanche of ash? Volcanic ash can be even more dangerous than lava. Sometimes ash clouds are not pouring up into the air but roll down over the side of a volcano like an avalanche. At the rate downhill, these destructing hot ash clouds burn, boil, or melt everything in the path. Which volcano burned a Rome's town? Where Italy's Mount Vesuvius erupted in August 70 CE and fell like snow over the Rome town of Pompeii, burning in a 6-meter deep drift. Then it rained afterwards. The ash set like concrete, freezing the town in 10 units. It was first invented in the 1860s. How can be volcanoes be good for you? And hot volcanic as can be so destructive. It brings benefit as well as wetters down. It enriches the soil and helps farmers to grow bombers harvest.
How big can waves get? When an average tsunami wave reaches the shore, it rises up into a 20-meter high monster. But the tallest in modern time was 27 meters high, almost as high as the Statue of Liberty in New York City Harbor. What sets off tsunami? Unlike ordinary ocean waves, which are mainly whipped up by the wind blowing over the water surface, most tsunamis are shocked into life on the ocean floor. Under the water, earthquake, landslide, and volcanic eruption are all violent enough to kickstart a tsunami.
What is dangerous about space rocks? Earth is under constant attack from space rocks. Most are no bigger than a pebble and burn up as they fly through the air. But every now and then, a big rock smashes into the ground and flies out the whole crater. With world greatest disaster on Earth, many scientists think a massive meteorite strike killed off the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. The blast blew up enough dust to block out the sun rays for months. Without sunlight, plants died. Cold and hunger killed off the plant-eating dinosaur first, and then the meat-eater. This is the end of our book today. We would be grateful of our beloved audience for listening to the end of the book. We hope you enjoy it as much as we did. And don't forget to like and share video for us on Thiên Phụng English Center fan page. It will support us even more. Thank you so much for your listening. Goodbye.